Hello, friends. I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Hope it's fantastic. Everything here is great. This is my new prop. I don't know what it's for. It's not. This is my new prop. I want to talk about something. I want to talk about bass today, specifically about something that happened while playing bass yesterday. Not necessarily about playing bass, but whatever. And I think we talked about this like a little bit ago, a little while ago. Whatever. Doesn't matter for the 5 of you watching. Who cares? I'm going to talk about it again. Maybe some new person will find this video and it will help them, or they'll, I don't know, have some input. I had a moment yesterday playing. Yesterday's lesson was particularly tough. There was some weird ways I needed to use my fingers that is new to me. It's kind of this, I'm just not used to it, and my brain did not want to do it. It just couldn't. So I worked through the lesson. The way this course is broken down, the instructor tells you what you're going to do, gives you the theory behind it, why. Play it a few times with him, not to any sort of metronome, just let's go through the notes. And that was okay-ish, but I could tell I'm going to struggle with this. And then we got to playing at a tempo. So what you do is you play it with him, just he goes, all right, this. Then the next part of the lesson is you play it at a very slow tempo to the music, and there's backing tracks and stuff. And then the next part of the lesson is you play it faster, and then the next part of the lesson is you play it at full speed. So I got through the little let's do this together thing, and I was like, I don't know about this. And then I got to the slow speed, and I just couldn't do it. I cannot do this. I even tried to go slow, like I turned the video off and just like, what is happening here? And it just wouldn't work. And I can't think of a whole lot of other things that I've done in my life where there's an aha moment. There's a like, oh. But it suddenly happened. Like the third time through the slow video, all of a sudden it was just like, bong. Oh, I can do that now. It's like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good example of not being able to do something and then suddenly being able to do it. I had that moment when playing bass, and it felt like a mental moment. I could say as a board gamer, I've had that moment where the rule set that you've just learned is really confusing and you're not understanding how the pieces fit together, and then all of a sudden there's doing this, and you start to see the puzzle unravel. That, I guess, is what it felt like. But this is a semi-physical task. Like it is getting my hands to do something my hands aren't used to do. It's not just getting my brain to see something it's not used to seeing. I learned many, many years ago that perception is not a fixed state, meaning that I went through training to become a man tracker. I worked in search and rescue, and I became a certified man tracker, which meant you could go walk through the woods, and I could go follow your trail, and I could pick out, like you see the Indian broken branch, that sort of stuff, sure, but I could pick out your trail. And what I learned through that process was when I learned it, I learned it. When I taught it, when I came back and tried to teach it to people, what I learned was I could look down and immediately see footprint, and see like the person's trail. And a person who hadn't been trained yet, who hadn't gone through that mental exercise of learning the pattern, just saw a forest floor. Like, what are you talking about? There's no, yeah, look right here, look right here. No, I don't see it. Look right here, look right here. I don't see it, I don't see it, I don't see it. Suddenly, at some point, you go, I see the pattern. Same thing playing a game. Felt the exact same playing the bass. Only this time, it was a physical task. But it was like a switch. Suddenly, there was this dink, like this, literally like somebody took a switch, not this kind of switch, but a light switch, and flicked it. I'm in the middle of trying to figure this thing out, and suddenly it was like, oh, I just do this. And it wasn't a physical feeling. It wasn't I willed my muscles into place. It was a mental, oh, I figured that pattern out, and now I can do that pattern, and now I can play that way, and now I can use that finger motion anywhere in any other pattern. It's not this one specific thing. And it was really invigorating. It felt really good. It felt like this is why I want to continue playing music. Because, as we age, our brain loses plasticity, meaning that it becomes more difficult to learn new things. It becomes more difficult to, rewire the brain. People talk about, learning a new language is rewiring your brain. And it is. It's learning to do something in a different way than what you know is it's a brain training skill, just no differently than flexing muscles is a muscle training skill. And playing a bass guitar or playing any instrument is a combination. It is there's a physicality to it. I hurt my wrist playing bass because I was playing too much. There is my muscles and tendons are not used to being used in this manner. You develop calluses from playing because your fingers aren't used to be. So there's a physicality to it, but there is a mental puzzle to this. And I wasn't aware of that. And part of the reason that I want to continue playing indefinitely is because that brain plasticity is important to me. It's important for me to keep myself constantly flexing that muscle, constantly using that muscle, because I see what happens to people as they age and become a little bit more vegetative and become a little bit more of a consumer instead of an ideator. That they become less capable of thinking, not necessarily they think slower. It's that they just can't do the think. Their brain doesn't do that anymore, and that scares me, and I don't want that. And I think that music is a great outlet for keeping the brain plastic, for keeping it thinking, for keeping there's an infinite amount of music to learn, and specifically on bass. I don't know about other instruments. There's dozens of techniques to learn, like thousands of techniques to learn. I don't know. There's a lot to learn, and I think that it's fascinating. And having those moments where you go, I get it. That's what it's all about for me. Not necessarily the music. The music's great. I love playing the music. Today's lesson I did at lunch was really fun. It was a really fun tune. It was this cool little rockabilly kind of thing, and I had a lot of fun learning the bass line. I had a lot of fun learning the theory behind the bass line because I hadn't been thinking about it quite right, and I went, I get it. So it was a really fun lesson, and I now have yet another notch in my musical knowledge that I can apply to future songs and whatever. So, yeah, just wanted to talk about that a little bit. It's about to be the 4th of July tomorrow here in America. I have a 4-day weekend. What do you got going on? Anything exciting? Doing anything for the 4th? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know sounds smart is whelp, and is a noun meaning a despised person or his or her offspring. 'Twas slander filled with her mouth with lying words, slander the foulest whelp of sin. Robert Pollock, a Scottish poet. Whelp, W-H-E-L-P. I always thought a whelp was like a toddler or like an offspring that is annoying. I guess a despised person, it does say his or her offspring. I always took whelp to mean like a small, like a little person. Like a child or a juvenile.